Okay, so it's the idea of, obviously it's hard to say an idea, but it's like trusting somebody as a partner with independence.
Okay.
So what does that mean to you?
Uh, Based on just what you said right now, with no further explanation, trusting probably a life partner, a romantic partner, with them being able to be themselves, independent of who they are with you. So they have their own life, their own job, their own aspirations, dreams, schedules, morning routines. Trusting them to, I would assume you're talking about romantic relationships. So
Yeah.
trusting them to come back to you every night, to still want to spend time with you, uh, even though they have their own goals and their own schedules and their own priorities external to you.
So where does that trust come from?
Where does that trust come from?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, if we just go on objective facts,
Like would it be
verbal.
you and like you internally and them internally, or trust that you've created with them?
Well, some people have verbal agreements like, "Hey, life partner, I need this from you. I know you have your dreams and aspirations. I want that for you, but I do need X amount of time per week. I would love to talk to you every day, one call, texting for an hour minimum." So there's that trust of, okay, cool, I can fulfill that for you. Trust
Trust
that
in
I
that
will fulfill this role for you.
trust in that being the truth, and that's what.
And trust that I can uphold my truth, because it's probably true for the recipient to be like, yeah, I can do that. I trust myself to do it. I might slip up.
Trust yourself to adhere to trusting them is what you're saying. Trust within yourself to adhere to the trust that you have in them. Does that make sense?
I think that makes like a very abstract sense. Yeah.
Okay. So to you, where is that trust found?
If not
More so in
verbal,
yourself?
if not verbal, I would say an intangible feeling and connection of, hey, I got your back, you got mine. Because rarely, I don't think a lot of couples say, hey, I got your back, you got mine. It's more just like, kind of just a known, like, kind of like the head nod, like,
Yeah,
yeah, I
but
got you.
stuff happens all the time. So then, of things going wrong. So then, would that trust in them come from yourself rather than a verbal agreement? It has to be, because for you to accept them, accept the trust that you're connecting with them, like on this verbal agreement, you have to trust yourself to trust them, right?
I mean, I'm
Am I
not
jumbling this
sure.
up way too
I'm
much?
not sure. So maybe explain further. But I would say you have to trust that you are worthy of being loved, and trust that you are this person for them, and trust that they are telling the truth when they say you're the one for me. I'm gonna fulfill this role for you. You can trust me.
Okay, so how do you tell that to somebody that has been hurt by trust in the past? Because it happens all the time.
I think I think it's one thing to say it, which is a big help for that person who has been damaged or hurt in the past.
But
Sorry.
what if the person that has been damaged by trust in the past got a verbal agreement once before?
I think, well, that's what I'm getting to. I think it's just a matter of, cool, I've said it, now let me show it to you.
So
And not that it's easy, like, cool, he's showing it, I have no more trust issues, but it takes time of building that trust, that intangible connection. I don't know if there's another word for trust, but just like, he has my best interest in mind. He wants the best for me. He wants me to be happy. So what's another word for trust? I have faith in him, or,
faith.
or her. I have conviction. um I believe his intent is where I want it to be, or where I would hope that it would be.
So what do you tell someone that has no faith and can't find the
I don't
faith?
think you I don't think you can tell them. I think it's a showing. It's a telling and showing, because they've probably been lied
Sorry, I'm
to.
talking about on the receiving end, right? Is that what we're talking
Yeah,
about?
like the person, if a girl said to me, Mark, like, I have major trust issues, this and that happened, I'd say, thank you for letting me know. I will, like, trust that I will do my best to fulfill the role that you need and be there for you when you need me to. But like, I may slip up.
But she's saying she can't trust you because she has hurt damage in the past.
Then why are you together if she can't trust you?
So how does that? So that person needs to build back the trust.
Within themselves, whether that's forgiveness or acceptance or just moving on. They need to, I was gonna say, trust in others again, but I think from the damage side, they need to trust in themselves that, again, I'm worthy of love. I am a person of value. I have something to give, and I do deserve love, relationship, compassion.
Okay, so now they understand that feeling right there, that they deserve love, that they deserve compassion.
Okay.
How do they?
Like decide who to give that trust to.
Yes.
I think that'll come down to that feeling, that gut feeling.
Okay.
Because when you meet someone and whether it's a coworker or a stranger or a friend of a friend, and like immediately they're like, "Hey Mitch, how's it going, dude? Like, oh, nice to meet you. Like, I've heard so much about you. Like, wow, this guy's like super friendly. Like, I feel like I could trust to just like trust
Say
you,
something-
to
yeah.
like 80% of the things that I would trust in someone right off the bat.
Yeah.
There's ways to
It's a nice
convey
feeling.
that trust, right?
With a partner. So you're saying that this partner
Partners
should be
with
the
people in general.
so to lead into a partnership, that person, a good way to fix that would be finding trust within someone that can seem trustworthy right off the bat, kind of thing.
Seem trustworthy and just like be trustworthy.
So then that would be like building more connection with that person to not probe, but like in a sense probe to see if they're trustworthy.
Yeah,
of the
I
person.
think
Like you don't want to probe because you want to be like, hey, here's a test, here's a test.
ultimately I do think that it is the hurt person's responsibility to overcome, accept, move on, figure out their trust issues, insecurities, etc. However, that does often bleed into their relationship with the other person, and then it
For sure.
sometimes becomes their responsibility, sometimes it affects the relationship. But ultimately it's like, well, you have trust issues because of XYZ. Cool, I will do my best to like help you get to a better place, but ultimately, like, I can't save you. People have to save themselves.
Okay, fair.
But not everyone realizes that,
For
like
sure,
not
for sure.
everyone
And
knows.
like I feel like time is a big factor of that too. Like over time, you may those scars hurt less. End of
Yeah.
the day, so then you can trust again
Yeah.
without like you can work on it as well, but time will also be a factor to help work on it.
Yeah, easy to say,
Easy
much
to
harder
say,
to do. Like
for sure.
you mentioned scars as a good example because I get cut from a knife. It's like, oh, I'm never using a knife again. Eventually, I get over it, but I still see the scar every day that reminds me, oh yeah, like don't forget to be careful around knives. Like,
Wow, that was good.
Yeah, right. So like you're always reminded, and
Yeah,
but
yeah.
some people may see that scar and be like, oh my god, I can't think of knives ever again. Like every
For
time
sure.
they see it, some people say, I've learned from this. I'm stronger now.
And
I think that
know
just depends on the person.
That can't happen.
It can happen, so be wary. Know how to protect myself for future knife cutting situations.
Wow, that was really good.
But I don't know if I fully answered your initial question.
Initial question was trusting someone with independence. It was based on independence versus.
So elaborate a little more on that. Like, give me an example, and then ask again what your question is.
Like I can give you an extreme example.
Sure.
Like going off to war. Or like going away for 2 weeks. Now you have to trust in the 2 to 3 weeks. You have to trust in the person's
Like
independence.
not going to cheat on you?
Is that the only fear that trust?
Or they're going to lose interest?
There's another fear that's possible. How do you trust in someone's independence where that independence doesn't lead to a change of thought or a change of
Like feeling or loss of
leading
feeling?
to hurt or anything?
I think the answer is in the question. You just have to trust them. What else can you do? Because ultimately, I could be head over heels in love with a girl, and I go off to war for a year. What are the odds that we stay together? I don't know, 50-50? And I would say to her, I'm always going to love you. I'm always going to do this and that. But like, what if I meet a girl that sweeps me off my feet, that I don't have feelings for
Now,
for the initial girl?
yeah.
Or if the initial girl sweeps my feet from under me, then that's all I'm going to think about while I'm off to war. But
So now does
does
that person have to like try to sweep the other person off their feet now?
I don't. Well, I mean, I hope that you wouldn't have to try to do it. I hope it would come semi-naturally, or you understand that work is involved in relationships. So I have to try to be a good partner to my partner, or I have to try to keep this flame going. I get that.
Okay.
But I don't think you should try to. I was gonna say create things that aren't there, but I think that's part of it. You do have to create. Like, I'm sure when we've had girlfriends, it's like I want her to feel like I want her. So I'm gonna set up this date, and I'm gonna buy us a bottle. I'm gonna do this to make her feel special and wanted. I think that is creating something from nothing, which makes sense. But I don't think you should create an image or like fabricate something that has no foundation or grounding to it.
Give an example of that.
Um like oh, hey Kathy, my girlfriend, did you know that I'm going off to war and I'm like I got promoted to general? Isn't that so great? Really, you're not promoted. Like that's just a lie. I don't think you need to fabricate your status or what you or justify what
Who
you
you
mean to
are.
them. Yeah, who you are,
Or
like
who you even mean
the
to
value
yourself.
that you bring. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, I think that it makes sense that people just love you for who you are, whether you're a soldier, commander, private, or entry level, whatever, or if you're a plumber, or if you work at McDonald's, or if you're a CEO. Like ultimately, I would hope that those things wouldn't matter. But how could you say that? Because people need to know that my future with this person is going to be okay.
So
Financially, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, all these different
yeah.
things. So that's a factor.
So I have another question then with that. So say you're going off to war or whatever, and you want to wow this person, not just necessarily with grand gestures, but just moments with things, with just wow them in like you said, you want that to happen, where like sweep you off your feet.
Mm-hmm.
So you do that and you put all this effort in, but the chance of them leaving is still the same.
Yeah, but that's every relationship.
Mm.
Like we know people that have been in a rock solid relationship where one day the girl had a thought or met someone and was like, oh shoot, like do I actually want this? And then a month later they break up.
That hurts so much.
It
Just
hurt, of
thinking
course,
about
hurts,
it.
but that's just life.
Mm.
That's just what it is, right?
So
Like,
would you suggest not thinking about it, or would you suggest like accepting it, or just like what's your
I
move?
think not thinking about it, being ignorant, purposefully ignorant, is not a good idea.
Ignorance is not a good idea, but ignorance is bliss.
Well, sorry, ignorant to the idea that I don't need to get over this. Like I don't need to accept that she's not gonna leave me one day. Like I'll just deal with it when it comes. Like I think people should be prepared mentally and emotionally to say like, of course I love my partner, but there is a chance that one day she doesn't want to be with me anymore. And I hope that I would say to myself, that would suck, but I just want them to be happy, whether that's with me or not. Because I care about them more than I care about us together. Of course I
sure.
love us together, but I love her independently of us, that I want her to be happy with me, without me, whatever that looks like. But like that's so hard to say, and like I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I've just been able to say that off the bat.
We had that same talk about a couple months ago about that.
Yeah, like where you're left off at the
altar.
right at the end of a relationship. Like obviously it sucks, but eventually I hope that people come to a place where it's like I just want them to be happy, and it's not with me, and that's fine. Like I don't want them to be with me if they're not happy.
Yeah, for sure. That's a really good point. And some people, I find it, maybe it's jealousy or like fear, sadness that they can't accept the fact that you want them to be happy without you, you know?
Yeah. It's like I don't know if it's the right word that I'm using, but it's almost like you're attached to the idea of you together, and you're attached to this life that you've built up and created in your head, this vision, when it's not that you should be detached, but I guess time and place for everything. Like, yeah, if they break up with you, it's like, well, that was just an idea in your head that you fabricated and built up.
The idea of you guys staying together?
Yeah, and whether
That's not a good way to look at it, though.
Well, hopefully you would only have to think this way if they one day just got up and left. If you're in the moment and everything feels good, you don't have to think one day they're gonna leave me. I have to be okay with it. You just enjoy it in the moment. Because like I don't think that's a good way to think either. But if one day your partner just gets up and leaves, of course it's gonna suck. It's gonna take time to heal. But I do think that ultimately you want them to be happy, or find the silver lining in your shitty situation.
Yeah,
but like
they're ultimately looking for
super hard
happiness.
to do. It's your mindset, it's your perspective, it's how you grew up, it's how you see relationships,
Yeah.
it's how you see people and that person individually, how you see yourself. So it's all these different factors that come together to ultimately serve, or I guess disserve you, or
Yeah,
serve
for
you.
sure. So bringing it back to independence, you believe that giving them independence will make them that attachment to you stronger?
Yeah.
Explain.
If you love a flower, let it go or let it grow, whatever whatever the saying is, right? Like, this flower is so beautiful. You pick it, you just killed it. This flower can no longer be beautiful. Well, I mean, maybe there's death and beauty, or there's beauty and death, but like, the thing you love and the thing you think is so beautiful, you just killed it. You ended it. So
Because you wanted it so bad.
you wanted it so bad that
Wow.
you picked it out of the ground.
Nice.
Same thing with relationships, where it's like, I love my girlfriend so much. I want the best for her, but it's only with me. She can't see other guys. She can't have other friends. It's just me. I want her all to myself because she's so beautiful. That's constrictive, restrictive. That's terrible. Like, what kind of life?
What would you suggest for someone to do if they acknowledge that what you just said, that they are doing that to their partner? How would you morph changing it?
Well, I think ultimately the goal would be, I love my partner so much that even though they have this job completely separate from mine, I want them to be the greatest, like, CEO of this company, or like
at their own independent thing.
build your craft, master your domain, like, do you live your best life independent of me, but like, come back to me, like, let me still be that person.
But you're telling that to someone that is possessive and that wants to.
Oh yeah, sorry. So at that point, it's like, dude, you're attached. Like, stop it. You're setting all these expectations that are never gonna be fulfilled. You are doing her a disservice now, or him or her, whoever your partner is, because you're restricting their life, and they can't be happy anymore because they're in chains.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you pick one. You either restrict them and they're not happy, and then you hate each other and you break up, or it turns abusive or terrible or ends or whatever, or you let them be free and trust in them to come back to you. It's like, I love this butterfly. All these analogies, eh? I love this butterfly so much. It's like my pet. It knows you. It comes back to you. Fly away. Be free. Have fun in the backyard or wherever you want to go. Just come back to me at night so you don't get eaten by night owls or whatever. Like, you let them go to flourish and to grow and to do everything they want to do. And here's a good example. You and your girlfriend or your partner, whoever is listening, they love someone corny. Let's say Justin Bieber, 2008 era, or whatever era he blew up in, and it's like, oh, he's so corny, this and that. But your partner just loves him. And they're like, oh, Mark, like, I want to go to the concert. Will you go with me? It's like, no, fuck that. Like, I don't want to do that. It's like, all right, well, that sucks for me, and I wish you would come with me, and now I kind of resent you for not letting me go. Or you could say, you love Justin Bieber so much, let's go. Let's have a great time. I'm going to, like, put you on my shoulders. Like, I'm going to do a sign or whatever. Like, you do these things for your partner.
Yeah.
So they have the best time of their lives, because at the end of the night, they're coming back home with you, and they're going to be telling themselves, I can't believe my Mark, or you, or Mitch, or whatever, my partner let me have such a good night with, like, my idol, Justin Bieber. Now I'm back at home with my partner, and it's so great. I'm so happy that they let me do that.
So bring that to a real life situation where, say, like, you got a guy that's, not jealous, I don't know what the word is, but just angry at, like, his girl going to a club. But that's more realistic than the Justin Bieber situation, where, like, she wants to go to the club.
Yeah, look good
but
with
he's
their
like,
friends and
yeah,
shit.
he's like, don't look good, don't go.
Then dump his ass.
But
unless she's literally flirting and dancing on guys, like, that's different. Okay, then you dump her ass. But, like,
so you, no, how we read that the trust thing?
Like, how can the guy trust her to, like, not mess around and cheat?
Yeah,
on
because
her?
people have, like, that issue where, like, they can't.
You just have to trust that,
like, let it go, you know?
I trust my partner to tell me the truth and to be faithful to me, and to
just back to the trust thing,
and to fight for our relationship when I'm not around.
Mm-hmm. Another good example was, I wanted to say it earlier, but it's like with the butterfly thing. Like, say you love surf and turf, you're like, yo, surf and turf, I have it every year on my birthday. You're like, I have it every year on my birthday. You have it every year on your birthday, and then, like, 1 year, you're just like, okay, I had it every month this year. Now it's like, I want it every week. And then by the time you have it every week, you're like, I don't want this no more.
Okay.
I'm done with surf and turf. Let me go into lobster tails.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you saying, like, I love like my girlfriend, like, I'm gonna see her every month, now every week, now I'm bored of her?
Well, not necessarily that, but it's the butterfly, like, sorry, the flower thing, where it's, like, so good that you want it and you take it, but then it isn't good in the end, because either the flower dies or you're sick of this food now and you're like, I don't want this food anymore.
It's like use and abuse.
Yeah.
Too much of any good thing is too much.
Yeah,
right?
it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, can't eat chocolate
So
every
like
day.
I love my girlfriend. I want to hold her. I want to spend time with her. That's let's equate that to use. The abuse would be I'm holding on to her and I'm never letting go. I want to spend time with her, but it's only with me. She can never
Mhm.
spend with anyone else. That's the abuse part now.
But
That's where
then,
it's too far.
okay, but then now you're looking at the future and you're looking at moving in with this person. Not without the toxicity, like you're just moving in with
Yeah,
this person.
okay.
Is that too much now? Because
No, well, I mean,
now all of a sudden that girl you used to see once a week, you're seeing her every day because you now live together. Or the partner that
I
you
mean-
see every week, you're now
I
living.
mean, ideally, that's what you want, right? To see this person every day. And you have your own lives. That's where the independence comes from. It's like you have your own job, you have your own friends. Like there's times when I'm not going to see you, even though we come home together every night. That's still the part that I look forward to. But like I want you to go have fun with your friends and
Mhm.
see your sister and see your mom and like.
But I think everything
Yeah.
changes when you were to move in. You know, like friends start to mesh because you're doing everything together, kind of thing. You know.
Yeah, you would hope that it's a clean mesh and everyone gets along. You just hope for that.
Nice.